Hello, hello, hello. This is Tom from Tom and Ruth Philippine Adventures. Today, we're going to talk about something that it's relationships in the Philippines, and maybe some important things that might help someone come to the Philippines. So we're going to talk about this today, and thank you so much for always watching. Hello, everybody. Hopefully everybody's well. It's what time is it? It's 10 o'clock. No, it's 10:30 in the morning here on Friday morning. Today we're going to talk about relationships and what can you expect. Say, okay, this is it is. I found my Filipina. I found the soulmate. My soulmate I've been looking for a long time. I'm actually coming to the Philippines. I'll be there soon. What can I expect and what can I do? Let me take care of them. Having animals is great and fantastic when you have them, everything else, but they can drive you crazy. Always a need there. Today, I want to talk about this. Quite a few guys have messaged me, and I say quite a few. I mean quite a few, meaning more than 10. It messaged me and asked me about this. Asked me, I found my Filipina. I want to stay with her. And what do I do next? I've been here now a few months. I've been here 6 months. I've been here 3 months. I've been here 4 months. I want to get married. And I've said this before, so I'm not going to go in detail with that. Wait to get married. 1 year, 2 years. But there's so many factors in what I'm going to talk about here. So many factors. Where do you live? Where are you going to go? Where are you going to maintain your household? You're going to live on their land? You're going to buy yourself some land? There's many things that it goes into the factor. Is she a province girl? Is she a city girl? And does she understand you clearly? Does she understand the language clearly? English language clearly? Is communication, how is communication with her? Is your communication well, meaning that she understands everything that you say? And is their communication with you the same? Can you understand her? That's where a lot of times, even Ruth and I, at times, still to this day have a hard time. She may say something and I take it wrong, or I may say something, she takes it wrong, and we're back on square ground again. Like, what do you mean? I don't understand it. And that's few and far between, Ruth and I, because we've been together now 6 years plus, 7 years coming up soon. So we kind of understand. We even understand the thinking aspects. But you're with your Filipina. Family gets involved, and the family's a big factor too. Is the family going to be close? Family going to be living with you? I know of a couple Americans right now. I say a couple families that I already know within this last month have left here because the families are so close to them, they can't really deal with it. And many different dealings. Always being there, drinking at night, yelling and screaming, fights, arguments, always wanting to borrow money, always need the money. No matter what you give them, they come back for more money. Taking the vehicles, taking the motorcycles, let me borrow your motorcycle. Well, no, then they get mad, and it's just a big fiasco. So, 2 families in the last 30 days have left and gone back to USA. Oh, and then we have Claude and Jessica, but they went back for different reasons than that. But here's something that you always need to really realize that. If you find your lady, you got it all worked out. Okay, communication is well, you're getting along fine. She's going to want a child if she doesn't have a child. She's going to want a child by you automatically. So you have to talk about all those things and get things worked out. And if she's a Christian or not, and if you're a Christian or not, she may want to go to school, may want to go to birthday parties. Big birthday parties are very important here. Birthday parties happen every week, sometimes every 2 weeks, sometimes every day. Neighbor, brother, cousin, sister, friend, associate has a birthday party. And so you go. Well, it's okay. But here in the Philippines, it's a little bit different. They furnish the food. You just show up. In the U.S., a lot of times, birthday party, you bring a plate, or you bring the food, or you bring the cake, you bring the ice cream. things like that. We have a party together. Of course, if it's a kid's party, kids will show up with a gift. Here, there's no gifts. So you may have that to deal with. I know of an American just arrived here in the last 30 days. I'm not going to mention his name. He didn't give me authority to do it. He's dealing with the birthday parties, and he's having a hard time with the birthday parties. It's gotten to the point, he says, now I just go to my room and sit with a closed door. Well, that's not good. That's not good. If you find yourself already doing that now, where are you going to be in a year from now or 2 years from now? And then you're going to build a house with this person. So that's what happens. So immediately they're going to want a house, and they're going to want land, and they're going to want to build a house, and they're going to, then you get into other things later on, or whatever that is. Because each person's different. But understanding the Filipina and understanding the culture here is the most important thing in the world. I've talked about this so much, I'm blue in the face with it. But I have to talk it out again, because I told the guys I'm going to do a video on this, so please understand. So I can answer all your questions instead of me emailing back. One guy, I have 10 emails back and forth to one guy. So you get 10 or 15 or 20, and then all of a sudden you're back, forth. And then you find yourself, that's all you're doing all day. And that's what I find that I'm doing all day. Ruth says, you're still on the emails? I go, yeah. Because they reply, and then they oh, I got another question, and this, which is fine. I don't mind that. I don't mind the questions. But so that's the reason I do these type videos. You find your Filipina, you're happy, you're going to get married, wait a year, wait 2 years before you get married. There's no rush. What are you rushing for? Find out if you actually really know the person, live with the person, be with the person. If you don't want to commit adultery, fine, you get a place, and she has a place. So you guys separate yourselves, whatever that is, and then figure that out accordingly. Or buy a piece of property, and you stay here, it's over here. But be careful on this property situation. If you buy a piece of property or lease land, things like that, be very careful, all the above. People get taken advantage of all the time. People get taken advantage of also with the families, where they come and ask for money. And can I borrow money? Can I borrow $10,000? Can I borrow $5,000? Before you know it, you're a bank, and it's always this revolving door. If you get that situated in the beginning and say, hey, I'm not giving you no more money. I'm not giving you any money. From the beginning, I'm not giving you any money. Bottom line, done. I'm on budget. I don't have it. I don't care if you're making $5,000 a month. I'm on budget. I'm not giving one dime. You have to make it clear. If a situation happens medical, you'll have to make a choice on that. That's up to that person. Also, that's a very important factor to think about real quick. I'm going to throw this in there. If you are a foreigner coming to the Philippines, get medical insurance immediately. You don't want to find yourself without insurance here. Get a Maxi card, worst case scenario. Get something. I don't care what it is. Get something that you have. If you have a heart attack or something happens, or you fall, hurt yourself, and you need an operation, you need ASAP. If you don't have any of that stuff, you may find yourself in a bad situation fast. I mean, I get guys in the hospital. Can you come to Cebu and help me get out of the hospital? I have money. I had to send a friend of mine that lives in Cebu to help get a guy out of the hospital, and he's making $5,000 a month. And he can't get out because he decided himself he's going to be single and couldn't get anybody. Couldn't even get the nurse to go get the money out of the bank so he can get out of the hospital. So he had to trust a foreigner. And that's scary. I knew this guy, and I've known this guy, but I've not met this guy. And I said, I've got a guy that can come get you out of there. But you're going to have to, and you pay him a little extra here. Give him some bucks, give him a couple $100 for his time and travels. So, but he did. He got him out, and everything's fine. But here's the thing: there's so many guys like that. Just in Cebu alone, I know of 5 guys who's in the hospital since I've been here in the Philippines. So 1 a year, just there, not counting CDO, Manila, Iloilo, and behold, there is 2 guys in the hospital as foreigners, and they can't get out of the hospital right now today. So be prepared for that. Okay, I'm done with that. I was talking about Filipina relationships. And so you don't think about this. Being a Filipina in the Philippines and living here is going to be different. Now, people say, don't take them back to States. Don't take them back to States. Don't take them back to States. Well, that's a call you have to make. You want to take them back to States? Take them back to States. If you have a relationship with her and it's a good relationship, why would she cheat on you? Oh, let's say it happens. Well, you know what? I know many guys that brought the girls there, still married to the same girl, no matter how many times she's to get out and about and whatever. I can mention 4 guys that I've talked to today are married with a Filipina, and they brought them there in a K1, and they're fine. Oh, sure, they have their up and downs and they argue and fight and things like that. But it's a simple things. It's on communication. Most of the time, it's communication in the kids. You're going to find, here's another factor, is if you're going to marry a Filipina, find out exactly. She may tell you, okay, I only have one kid, or I have 2 kids, or whatever it is. You may look at that and find out exactly how many kids they have. So many people lie to. Yeah, well, come to find out, a guy that is up over here is married, and she said she had 1 kid. Well, the sister let it slip out. She has 3. 2 boys, 8 and 12, and a little girl. The little girl said it was hers. The boys, the sister's taking care of. Well, no. Now he has 3. Well, no. He ended up saying, okay, you lied to me, so I'm leaving you. You have to really be prepared for that. The reason I'm saying is wait a year or 2 years before you get married and tie the knot. What's the rush? Do not, I know guys that came here and got married in a week, 2 weeks. So fast. I waited a time frame before I got married. Wait 6 months if you have to. Just do that. Another thing I want to talk about before I close out this video is when you are with a Filipina, things are good, you're soulmates, and everything is fine, everything's working out. And I say that soulmate loosely. I'm saying it, but I think that no matter what, male, females come together, unless you really have a lot of things in common, you're going to have some conflicts along the lines. And it could be over the children, it could be over the schools. She wants to go to private, you don't want to pay the private because it can be expensive. And yes, it can be expensive. It can run $100, $200 a month, depending. And if you got 2 or 3 kids going to private school, you can get up some serious money. Here, don't think, you're not in Kansas anymore, but don't think things are cheaper here than they are in the U.S. Yeah, private schools are cheaper, but I'll be honest with you. That's about that and a haircut and getting your aircon worked on. That's about it. And rent. Everything else is more than it is in the U.S. Guy was telling me the other day, I'm from New York City. Man, there's no way in the world I can live on $1,000 a month. Well, what are you talking about? You're spending, $8,000 a month there in New York City, and you're doing this and that, and you can't live on $1,000 here. It's 50 to 1. What kind of living you're going to be doing? There's not that much to do here. For someone to go out and be spending all the money, you could eat at the mall every day and have food at the mall. The worst case scenario is going to cost you a couple grand a month on the high side. Plus, if you have rent of $200 or $300 in this life and the kids and everything else. But someone to spend $4 and $5 grand here in a Western lifestyle, man, you can spend that in USA. Why would someone want to do that here? It's a beautiful country. It's green. It's one season here. It's only one season here. And it's hot. And that's what it is. A lot of people can't take the heat. They want to go back maybe cooler temperatures. There's no really season. So there are many advantages of living here, but there's many advantages you need to seriously take a look at. And if you're going to marry a Filipina, make sure that she is with you. Now, something too that is very important. If you go and get a 13A visa, for an example, or SRV, they're going to ask you questions. Best to get the 13A in USA or somewhere else. Here, where they ask you, what kind of relationship do you have with her? And they're going to make you fill out forms. She's going to fill out forms. They're going to ask you questions off those forms. They're going to ask you, well, how are you getting along with your neighbors? Are your neighbors arguing and fighting with you? Have you had arguments? Have you had arguments and fighting with neighbors? They're going to ask you many different questions. You could be in an interview for 10, or it could be as long as 30, 40 minutes. I remember when I did my interview, I was in there for 40 minutes. And as I felt like I was grilled? Well, no. I was the nicest guy in the world. He's just talking about everything. And he's getting you talking. He's smart. He's getting you talking. And maybe you say, oh, yeah, there was a time this happened, or this happened, and this happened. And, yeah, I was in an accident in the car. And, yeah, there's one guy who just didn't like me, So you have to really be prepared for things like that. I mean, you get, and they'll approve you or disapprove you. And there are guys that they have to come back and refile the 13A because they got not approved. You have to, because your wife is sponsoring you. Just like when you go to USCIS, I'm sponsoring Ruth to come to US. And in some cases, if I don't make the income, I have to find another sponsor to help me get her to US. So there are things that you kind of have to be prepared for. The most important thing that I want to say is don't get married when you come here initially. Don't rush into it. Make sure you understand who she is. Make sure you understand her outlook on things. And make sure if she's Christian or not Christian, get a lot of things worked out. Birthday parties, clothes, spending money, budgetary with family, where you're going to live. There's a lot of things to talk about. You can't do it on long distance relationship. You have to be in front so you can see their faces. Find out if she is who she is. God bless everybody, and thank you so much for watching. Where's my button? Always forget the button.